So one of the things that we like to do in incorporating clients' hobbies into our projects is work with wine and Scotch bottles in the actual production of what we're building. Now, my garage at home is set up as a ceramic studio, so I can make custom tiles for clients. Sometimes I'll do some custom sculpture, and at times I'll melt wine or Scotch bottles into tiles. So I actually heat the kiln, melt the bottles flat, called slumping, and then at about 1400 degrees they become soft. Then I'll flip them over and use them in the countertops. That's the only legitimate way I could come up with to write off my wine and Scotch consumption as a legitimate business expense. Now, I'm not sure my accountant's gonna be happy with me saying that on camera, but we've been able to do this on a number of projects, and it's kind of fun to make something a little bit more whimsical, kind of interesting for clients. It's certainly a conversation piece when you go to entertain, right? So on this one particular project I remember, and the guys were joking about it later because they said they thought we might have been building on top of an ancient burial ground. There was so much bad luck that happened on this particular job. But what we did is we built a beautiful outdoor barbecue counter and serve bar. It was built out of cast concrete. We created a mold on site, vibrated our concrete mixture into the mold, seeded it with crushed recycled glass, and then only melted Scotch bottles. And in this case, the client had provided all the Scotch bottles, and none of them were the kind of Scotch you're going to buy at the grocery store. These were fine bottles, and I think the least expensive one we had there was a Johnny Walker Blue, for instance, okay? So he'd provided the bottles for me, and I melted them in my kiln, and we went to set them into the counter, and then you gotta let that cure for about 2 weeks, and then we grind, hone, and polish using granite finishing tools to bring it up to just a sheen. Really looked terrific. Client loved it. So the lady of the house comes out and she says, you know, guys, I was kind of hoping you could put an umbrella stand in the center of the counter for me. My foreman at the time, and I'll say he doesn't work for me anymore, but at the time, took a core drill, it's about a 2.5-inch drill bit, and he drilled directly through the main trunk of all the fiber optic cables. And so they didn't want to tell me about this and tried to repair it, I guess. And the fiber optic cables, so they used electric tape to wrap them around each of the cables. And of course, that doesn't work. Fiber optic cables, once they're cut, they in the fashion that they were, there was no way to put it back together. We ended up doing, at the cost of about $16,000, was demolishing the counter completely, reforming it, repouring it, and I think the only thing good that came out of it, the only thing, was that I had to go buy each of those same bottles of Scotch and drink them quickly so that we could repair the counter in a timely fashion. That story goes back probably 10 years. I've been designing and building California landscapes and hardscapes for 33 years now. That goes back probably 10 or 15 years.